All right, catching our breath on this Tuesday evening's edition of Weather for Weather Geeks. We had a couple of busy hours in the Weather Center this afternoon, tracking some pretty severe thunderstorms that moved through a lot of eastern Ohio and into western Pennsylvania now for our television viewing area. This was mostly focused on our southern areas, Columbiana County, and especially south of there, down into kind of the Wheeling and Steubenville areas. When we look at power outages as of the 7 o'clock hour, a county like Tuscarawas County, still over 12,000, almost 13,000 without power. There's over half of the residents without power in counties such as Harrison County, over into Jefferson County, Ohio, just to the south of Columbiana County. And in Columbiana County, as of 7:08 p.m., still almost 3,000 without power out of 48,000 total customers. So yeah, the winds were no joke this afternoon. The National Weather Service offices, especially in Pittsburgh, did issue some high-end severe thunderstorm warnings. So we talked about in our live streaming coverage that destructive tag that went on to the severe thunderstorm warnings. That tag indicates that winds were similar to what can be produced in a low-end tornado. So no surprise when the map looks like this. We had a lot of wind damage, especially again in areas south of Route 30. Down into the panhandle of West Virginia, a lot of east central Ohio and western PA all the way through the Pittsburgh area as well. Now, we're kind of in a break between weather features. It's quiet as of 10 after 7 this evening. Our storms from earlier are long gone, but we are tracking what's happening along our cold front. And again, a little after 7 p.m., we have one severe thunderstorm warning on the map here. The northern edge of this band of broken thunderstorms is moving over cold Lake Erie. It has dissipated quite a bit. Now, as this continues charging east, eventually it's going to run into an air mass that's been worked over a little bit from the storms earlier on. What we mean by that is the atmosphere is cooler and more stable as a result of our mid to late afternoon thunderstorms once you get far enough east in Ohio. But for a while, these will travel along a fairly virgin atmosphere, if you will, across northern Ohio that has not really been touched too much by the thunderstorm activity that we had earlier on today. So they may persist for a while, and I can't even rule out a noisy or even a strong thunderstorm in our TV viewing area before the evening is through, but our chances locally of a strong thunderstorm appear to be a little bit lower than off to our north and west, closer to Cleveland, where, again, the atmosphere was not worked over some by this afternoon's activity. Still hanging on to 68 as of the 7 o'clock hour locally, and it's easy to find our cold front. It's lurking just off to the north and west. Big change coming our way overnight. It was already a big change in the air mass today. You know, we woke up this morning, it was mild outside, but the air mass was very dry. Dew points were in the upper 20s to around 30, but look how rapidly those dew points rose during the midday and afternoon. We went from a dew point of 29 in the morning, or overnight, I should say, last evening into the overnight, to 65 degrees, that peak dew point at the Youngstown Warren Airport late this afternoon, early this evening. That's a big dew point rise over a 24-hour period. And it's still pretty muggy out there this evening, but it'll feel a lot different as many head out the door Wednesday morning. The cold front sinks to the south. We'll end up in the upper 30s to around 40 by the end of the night tonight. Much drier air mass. It's going to be a pleasant day Wednesday, but you'll need to bundle up in the morning. The afternoon will be seasonable for that final afternoon of April. We'll have a good deal of sunshine, some clouds rolling in towards the end of the day. Now, Thursday, pardon me, we have another system heading our way, and the atmosphere is going to moisten up again. It'll be another day where the dew points rise quickly. It'll turn much warmer. Instead of the 60s, we'll be pushing 80 by the end of the day Thursday. And the setup is not the same as today. I think the severe weather risk Thursday is lower overall region-wide than it was today, but still a noisy or even a strong or severe thunderstorm will be a possibility during the second half of the day Thursday and maybe into early Thursday night. That front kind of wheezes and kind of just dies on the vine, if you will, and what we're left with is an air mass that is a little bit unstable into the day Friday. I think there can be some sunny breaks on Friday, but there can also be a shower here and there, and some raindrops may try to linger into Saturday. We'll talk about the weekend and beyond in just a second, but right now the Storm Prediction Center does have a low-end level 1 marginal risk of severe weather out for our entire region for Thursday. Again, mostly afternoon and evening. Could be another setup where all hazards are possible. Even though the overall risk may be lower than today, hail, wind, even isolated tornadoes could still be a possibility with the setup coming up on Thursday. Now let's talk about briefly beyond Thursday. The forecast, I didn't spend a lot of time fretting over this today because we had a lot on our plate in the near term, but some of the modeling is trying to be a little bit squirrely by the weekend and beyond, including the European model. Typically we think of the European model as being the most accurate medium and long-range model, and on long-term averages, that is true, but there are times, of course, it doesn't do as well as some other modeling, and, we're hoping it's not onto the right idea here, because today's runs of the European model, and a few other models as well, want to stall a front and even have an upper-low kind of lollygagging around the mid-Atlantic states this weekend into early next week. This is the weather map on the European as of Saturday night. Still raining in parts of eastern Ohio and western PA. Our current forecast is for the sky to clear late in the day Saturday and a beautiful day coming up on Sunday. But, you look at the European model for Sunday, and taken literally, it's cloudy and showery on Sunday. And this thing on the European model just sort of hangs out for a few days early next week. And that would mean more rain chances instead of the sunny and beautiful forecast we have right now. We didn't bite on this idea today because, again, we didn't want to spend a whole lot of time on days 5, 6, 7, 8 of the forecast when we had severe weather in front of us. But it's definitely a trend we have to watch. The European model is certainly not in lockstep with some other modeling. Some other modeling has this idea, but some does not. So we'll be doing some updates, of course, on that medium range forecast as we go through the next few days when we have quieter near-term weather. But it's possible, anyway, that we will start to see the forecast going downhill a little bit for Sunday and early next week. I'll keep you updated on this evening's scattered thunderstorms online on all my social media outlets. If we do have some warnings, I might even do some live streaming coverage once again on my YouTube channel and Facebook as well, so you can find me there. In the meantime, if you're up late tonight, check out my updated forecast and much more on 21 News at 11, and I'll see you back here on Weather for Weather Geeks on Wednesday.